Listen carefully, for what I am about to reveal to you has been hidden, sealed away, and whispered only in the darkest corners of heaven's record. A death is written in your name. Yes, your name, carved into the book of destiny, surrounded by shadows that hunger for your downfall. But before the hand of destruction reaches you, I, Michael the Archangel, come to stand before you, to tear open the veil, to reveal what no one dared to tell you. You are walking on ground where graves have been dug, yet you do not see them. You are breathing air that carries the scent of your enemy's curse, yet you do not sense it. And tonight, before this hour passes, I will uncover the truth that binds you. Listen to me with every part of your being, because what I am about to reveal has been concealed since the very beginning of your life. From the very first moment you entered this world, your name was spoken in heaven. It was inscribed in light, pure, radiant, untouchable. Your destiny was meant to shine, meant to rise. Angels surrounded you in that hour, celebrating the spark of divine purpose that was placed inside you. But the shadows were listening, and where light is born, darkness always waits. That day, when your name was written in heaven, a counterwriting began in the underworld. I saw it with my own eyes, etched into a forbidden book by the hands of those who hated you before you even breathed. They wrote beside your name a single word that was never meant to belong to you: death. Do you feel the weight of that word? It has followed you like a shadow you could never outrun. You thought it was just bad luck. You thought it was just sleepless nights, sudden fears, accidents that almost claimed you. But no, they were all fragments of the writing dripping down into your days like ink from a poisoned pen. Even now, as I speak, you can recall moments where you should not have survived. The night you woke and felt as though someone was watching you, yet no one was there. The dream where you saw yourself falling, endlessly falling, with no ground to catch you. The voice that whispered your name when the room was empty. These are not coincidences. These were signatures. They were the shadows reminding you that the word they wrote beside your name was still active. Do you know why certain people betrayed you? Why some turned against you for no reason, carrying envy in their eyes and hatred in their hearts? Because they became vessels, willing or unwilling, for that writing. They fed it, they gave it power, and the closer you drew to your destiny, the stronger their hatred grew, for darkness always trembles when light approaches its fullness. But you must understand, this is not just about death of the body. The writing seeks death of your hope, death of your strength, death of your peace. It wants to silence your voice, to bury your dreams, to break your spirit before the grave even calls your body. And yet, I stand here now for one reason only: to tell you this truth. What is written in shadow can be burned by fire. And the fire I carry is not of this earth. It is the fire of the one who sent me. But before I burn what was written, you must face the truth of how it came to be. Someone close to you has been feeding this writing. Not a stranger, not one far from your circle. It is one who knows your name, one who has spoken to you, smiled at you, perhaps even embraced you. But behind their words, behind their touch, lies a dagger. They have whispered your name into dark places. They have signed your destiny over to the shadows, and the chains you feel, the heaviness, the strange resistance, the endless battles are the proof. For chains cannot appear unless someone forged them. And tonight, I will show you the face of the one who forged yours. You were meant for greatness. You were meant to rise. But before you can step forward, you must know that death was written in your name. And until it is burned away, every step you take will be stalked by that shadow. So listen closely, for the hour of unveiling has begun. And once I open the next seal of truth, nothing in your life will remain hidden again.
Now, you have heard me reveal that a death was written beside your name. But the question you must ask is this: who gave them permission to write it? For shadows cannot write on their own. They cannot touch your name unless a hand, clothed in flesh, offered it to them. And that hand belongs not to a stranger in the distance, but to one who walks among you. You have felt it, the uneasy silence when they enter the room, the sudden heaviness that wraps around your chest when their eyes linger too long, the strange way their smile does not reach their eyes. Your spirit warned you, but you brushed it aside, and in brushing it aside, you gave them room. I have seen them. I have watched as they spoke your name in secret places, carrying it into circles where candles burned, where curses were spoken, where envy dripped from lips like venom. Yes, they carry your name into darkness, not out of love, but out of hatred disguised as friendship. They cannot celebrate your rise, for every step you take forward reminds them of what they lost. They cannot honor your destiny, for your destiny shines like a mirror that exposes their own emptiness. And so, in silence, they whispered, "Let their light be dimmed, let their life be shortened, let their joy be taken." And with every whisper, the word death grew stronger beside your name. Do you not recall the strange patterns? How blessings slipped from your hands at the last moment? How doors that were opening suddenly slammed shut, leaving you confused? How opportunities slipped away with no explanation? These were not accidents. These were signs. The writing was tightening. The curse was taking shape. And I, Michael, tell you this: the betrayer hides not far, but near. They have shared a table with you. They have spoken words of care, perhaps even claimed they wanted the best for you. But when night fell, when the world slept, they turned their face toward the shadows and uttered your name against the flame of darkness. Do you wonder why your sleep is troubled? Why your dreams twist into nightmares where you see yourself chased, hunted, falling? It is because your soul is wrestling with the very chains they placed upon you. Every dream you had of suffocating, every night you awoke gasping, was not your mind playing tricks. It was the evidence of their curse pressing against you. You are not imagining it. The weight you feel when certain people come near is real. The sudden loss of energy, the feeling of being drained after a conversation, the doubt that creeps into your mind, it is not natural. It is the shadow working through them, feeding on you, because death was written beside your name, and they are determined to keep it there. But hear me clearly. Their disguise is about to be shattered. I am Michael, commander of heaven's armies, and I do not come to whisper. I come to expose. For when the light of truth breaks through, even the most hidden shadow must reveal its shape. In the coming hours, you will see a pattern. Faces will show themselves. Some will reveal their true nature through sudden anger. Some will distance themselves when confronted with your rising strength. And some will even try harder to cling to you, but their touch will feel colder, emptier, hollow, because they know their mask is breaking. Yes, I will show you who they are, but you must be ready. For the greatest betrayal is not the knife of an enemy. It is the hand of a friend turned enemy. The one you trusted most may be the very one who signed your name into death. And I say this not to frighten you, but to prepare you, because what is coming next will shake the ground beneath your feet. The shadows do not release their prey easily, and the one feeding them will fight harder when they are exposed. But know this, I do not stand here to allow your fall. I stand here to lead you out of the writing of death and into the rewriting of destiny. So brace yourself. For in the next unveiling, I will reveal the signs that mark the betrayer, the symbols of their presence, and the hour when the chains around you will begin to break.
Now listen closely, for I will reveal to you the signs that expose the one who has written death into your name. These signs are not random. They are the cracks in their disguise, the footprints they leave behind in the sand of your life. And once you begin to recognize them, their shadow will no longer have the power to hide. Do you recall the sudden shifts in your atmosphere? How you were speaking, laughing, even smiling, and then a strange silence filled the room when they walked in. The joy within you dimmed, the air grew heavy, and your heart felt restless? This is not your imagination. This is the mark of a betrayer's presence. For every time they draw near, the chains of their curse tug at your spirit. They cannot come near you without bringing their shadow with them. And though they try to mask it with smiles, your soul feels the truth. Another sign is the look in their eyes. Pay attention, for eyes cannot lie. When blessings come to you, their smile is delayed. When you speak of victories, their eyes shift away. When you dream aloud, their response feels hollow. They may clap for you, but within their soul, their hands are clenched in jealousy. They cannot rejoice at your rise because your rising reminds them that they remain in darkness. There is also the sign of strange coincidences around your life. Whenever you share your plans with them, something goes wrong. Whenever they know your next step, obstacles appear, doors close, confusion spreads. But when you keep silent, when you move in secrecy, suddenly the path is clearer. This is not accident. This is the sign of a betrayer whose words feed the shadows when they learn your plans. Pay attention also to your dreams. Dreams are windows into the unseen. You have dreamt of serpents near your feet, of shadows chasing you, of masks falling off familiar faces. These were not meaningless. These were warnings. Your spirit was whispering that someone close carries the venom of betrayal. Even your body has testified.
Have you not felt the sudden heaviness in your chest after speaking with them? The inexplicable fatigue that comes when their voice lingers in your ears? The headaches, the unease, the sudden tightness of breath? This is the body's cry, the physical reaction to the curse they carry. And there is yet another sign, the silence when you needed them most. The betrayer rarely strikes with obvious violence. Instead, they wound you with absence. They vanish when you are weak. They fail you when you are most in need. They stand silent when others attack you. Their betrayal hides not always in action, but in the lack of it. They are not there when you needed their shield, because in truth, they were the hand pushing the blade. Do you now see the pattern? These signs are not scattered, they are threads, and when you pull them together, the mask begins to fall. And soon, their face will no longer be hidden. But I must warn you, when the betrayer feels exposed, they will react. They will try harder to cover themselves with words of affection. They will offer you gifts, false apologies, sudden gestures of kindness. But beneath every word, every gift, every gesture, there will be the trembling of fear. Fear that you are beginning to see them. Fear that the writing they forged is about to be burned. Yes, their mask will crack, and you will feel it the moment their eyes can no longer hold your gaze. You will feel it when their voice trembles while pretending to comfort you. You will feel it when your soul whispers, "This is the one." And when that moment comes, do not shrink back, for their power is built on secrecy. The moment they are revealed, their strength begins to collapse. I, Michael, tell you this. You are standing at the edge of exposure. The betrayer will soon stand before you, unmasked by truth, unable to hide in the shadows they once commanded. And when that unveiling comes, the writing of death in your name will tremble, for the chains will begin to crack. But before the full exposure, you must prepare. You must know how to stand, for when the shadows lash out in desperation, you cannot afford to fall. In the next revelation, I will show you the omens that foretell the hour of breaking, the hour when the curse begins to lose its hold on you.
Listen with the deepest part of your spirit, for now I will unveil to you the omens that surround the hour of breaking. These omens are not coincidences. They are the cracks that appear before a storm. They are the tremors that rumble before an earthquake. They're the whispers of the unseen world, telling you that the chains which have bound you are about to fight back before they shatter. Do not be deceived. Before freedom comes, resistance grows violent. Before the light breaks, darkness thrashes in desperation. And so the betrayer, who has fed the writing of death into your name, will grow restless. Their actions will betray their fear, and their fear will show itself through omens. The first omen is sudden conflict without cause. You will notice arguments rising out of nothing. Tension will flare in moments that should have been peaceful. Small misunderstandings will twist into storms, because the betrayer's spirit can no longer contain its agitation. They will stir conflict not because of what you said or did, but because the shadow inside them trembles, knowing it is being exposed. The second omen is the silence of broken communication. The betrayer will suddenly withdraw. They will avoid your presence. They will take longer to reply, their words shorter, their tone colder. This is not distance by accident. It is the shadow recoiling, fearful that the mask will slip if they linger too close to your light. The third omen is unusual disturbances around you. Objects falling without reason, shadows moving at the edge of your sight, cold chills running across your skin though the air is still, sleepless nights where the hour 3 o'clock wakes you with a start. Do not dismiss these. These are not tricks of the mind. They are warnings. They signal that the writing of death is weakening, but fighting back violently in its final hours. The fourth omen is dreams charged with revelation. You will see clearer visions. Faces will appear in your sleep, some familiar, some distorted. Perhaps you will dream of standing at a crossroads, uncertain which path to take. Perhaps you will see the betrayer's face flicker in the crowd, watching you. These are not just dreams. They are windows, showing you the spirit that has been hidden in flesh. The fifth omen is your spirit sharpening. You will feel a strange awareness. Where once you faced confusion, now you sense clarity. Where once you doubted your instincts, now your inner voice grows louder. That is not imagination. It is the stirring of divine fire within you, preparing you for the confrontation to come. But know this, the betrayer will not stand silent as these omens rise. They will act. They will test you with false kindness, sudden apologies, unusual generosity. They will try to draw you near again, hoping to cover what is already being unveiled. But even in their gestures, your spirit will feel the hollowness, and when you feel it, do not ignore it. For the greatest danger is not in failing to see the betrayer. The greatest danger is in seeing them, yet refusing to believe it. But I, Michael, command you, trust the signs, trust the omens, trust the voice within that cries, "This is the one." The hour is nearer than you think, and when the omens surround you, you must know it is the signal that the curse is losing its grip, that the death written in your name is trembling, that the betrayer's mask is cracking. Do not fear the omens. They are not sent to destroy you. They are sent to prepare you. For when the shadow shakes, the light is rising. When the betrayer trembles, exposure is close. And when the chains rattle violently, it is because they are about to snap. Prepare yourself, for in the next unveiling, I will speak of the hour of confrontation, the moment when the betrayer stands revealed, when silence ends, and when the shadows can no longer hide in the cloak of friendship.
Now hear me, child of light, for the moment is drawing near when silence will end, when secrecy will shatter, when the betrayer who has walked beside you, cloaked in falsehood, will no longer have the strength to hide. This moment is what I call the hour of confrontation. It is not an ordinary hour. It is the collision of destiny and deception. It is the moment where truth pierces through disguise and the shadow recoils as its mask is torn away. Do not imagine this hour will come softly. No. The betrayer will not lay their dagger down willingly. They will not confess gently. They will resist. They will twist. They will scramble for words to preserve their illusion. They will shout. They will weep. They will accuse. They will paint themselves as the victim. But in every word, their trembling will betray them, for a mask can only cling to a face for so long before the weight of truth tears it off. You will know this hour has come when their voice falters at the sound of your name. You will know it when they cannot meet your eyes, when their tongue tangles in excuses, when their presence feels heavier than ever before. You will know it when the very air thickens around them, as though the shadow inside them is suffocating under the weight of exposure. But child, prepare your heart, for this confrontation is not only about them, it is also about you. The betrayer may stand before you, but the real battleground will be within. The temptation will rise to deny what you see, to cling to what is familiar, to excuse the very hand that has been wounding you. And yet, if you refuse to see, the writing of death remains. If you choose blindness, the chains will tighten again. That is why I, Micheal, stand here, to give you strength in this hour. For confrontation is not for the faint of spirit, it is for the courageous, for those who choose to embrace the pain of truth rather than the comfort of lies. Do not expect their exposure to come with neatness. Truth rarely arrives politely. It bursts forth like lightning tearing through the night. It splits, it shocks, it blinds before it illuminates. And so when the betrayer's mask breaks, the chaos may swirl. But do not fear the chaos. It is the sound of chains cracking, the sound of the curse unraveling, the sound of death itself trembling before the fire of heaven. In that moment, you must remember, you are not alone. For I, Micheal, commander of the armies of heaven, will stand at your side. My sword burns with fire, and though you cannot see it with mortal eyes, the shadows see it clearly, and they tremble. Know this, when you confront the betrayer, you are not only confronting flesh, you are confronting the spirit that has fed on your destiny. You are confronting the shadow that has written death into your name. And when you stand, when you do not bend, when you refuse to accept the lies again, the shadow will break. But child, be ready, for sometimes the betrayer will not confess with their lips. Sometimes they will break with their silence. Their eyes will give them away. Their sudden retreat will expose them. Their desperate anger will reveal the truth louder than words. The confrontation is not always a spoken battle. It is a spiritual unveiling. And when the unveiling begins, you will feel it deep inside, like the tearing of a veil, like the rushing of wind, like the moment darkness flees at dawn. Yes, the hour of confrontation is not coming, it is almost here. And when it arrives, you must choose. Will you embrace truth, though it wounds, though it shatters illusions, though it cuts ties you once thought unbreakable? Or will you cling to the mask, protecting the one who was sharpening the blade against you all along? Choose rightly, for your destiny hangs in the balance. The death written in your name trembles now, for the moment of its undoing approaches. But it cannot be undone unless you stand firm in the hour of confrontation. And I tell you this, if you choose truth, if you stand, if you refuse to bend, then in that moment the shadows will cry out in defeat. Their power will collapse. The writing of death will lose its authority. And the one who betrayed you will be forced into the light of exposure, unable to hide again.
The confrontation is not the end. It is the breaking point. And from that breaking point, a new chapter of your destiny will begin to arise. So steel your heart, prepare your spirit, for in the next revelation I will speak to you of the breaking of chains, the thunderous moment when the curse shatters, when fire consumes the writing, and when your name, long bound in shadow, is set ablaze with the light of heaven once more.
Now, the veil lifts further, and I will show you what is to come in the hour of breaking. For you have carried chains you could not see, weights you could not name, burdens that pressed against your shoulders like an invisible yoke. Every delay you faced, every door that closed in your face, every joy that slipped through your hands, every friendship that turned bitter, every betrayal that struck you like a dagger. These were not just the wounds of life, they were the tightening of chains. Yes, chains forged not in heaven, but in the pits of envy, jealousy, and shadow. Chains whispered into existence when your name was spoken in secret. Chains that fed on your tears, chains that strengthened every time you doubted your worth, every time fears swallowed your courage. But now, the hour has come when those chains will break. Do you hear it? Even now in the spirit the rattling has begun. The iron groans, the links tremble, the shadow that forged them shakes in terror. For they know that when fire descends, no chain can endure. The first chain to break will be the chain of fear. For fear has wrapped itself around your chest, whispering, "You will fail, you will fall, you will never rise." But I say to you, fear is the language of the writing of death, and in the breaking hour, fear will shatter like glass beneath the hammer of fire. The second chain to break will be the chain of betrayal. For the wound of being betrayed has kept you bound to distrust, to loneliness, to silence. But I say to you, betrayal may wound, but it cannot define you. When the mask of the betrayer falls, the shadow loses its strongest weapon, and the curse begins to collapse. The third chain to break will be the chain of delay. For every step you tried to take was resisted, every blessing delayed, every opportunity stolen, every promise held back. These were the knots of the chain. But when the fire of heaven falls, delay gives way to acceleration, and what was held back is released in torrents. And the final chain, the heaviest of all, will be the chain of death itself. That word which was written beside your name will ignite. I see it even now. The cursed book where your name was bound in shadow. The ink runs black, the letters heavy, the word death scrawled beside it like a verdict. But as I raise the sword of fire, I see the letters trembling. The word is losing its form. The fire licks its edges, curling the ink, burning the curse, until the word that bound you is consumed, leaving only light where darkness once claimed you. And when the last chain snaps, you will feel it. The air will shift. The heaviness you carried for years will suddenly lift. The silence of oppression will break into the sound of rushing wind. And though your eyes may not see it, your spirit will know. The writing of death has been destroyed. But child, understand this. Chains do not break quietly. When they snap, the shadows that forged them will cry out. You will feel the resistance one final time as though all hell itself is pushing back against your release. Do not mistake this resistance for failure. It is proof that you are closer to freedom than ever before, for shadows fight hardest when their time is shortest. So do not turn back, do not doubt, do not surrender to fear in the breaking hour, for the fire of heaven is already descending, and once the chains are broken, they will never bind you again. I, Micheal, declare this. The breaking hour is near. The word of death is trembling. The betrayer's grip is slipping. And the fire that burns from heaven's throne is coming to consume what was never meant to define you. In the next unveiling, I will show you what rises after the breaking. The restoration of what was stolen, the rewriting of your destiny, and the moment your name shines in the book of light again.
Now that the chains have shattered, I will reveal to you what rises from the ashes. For destruction is not the end, it is the beginning. And when the word death is burned from beside your name, heaven does not leave the page empty. No, the book must be rewritten. I saw it with my own eyes. The cursed book trembled as the fire consumed it. The letters that spelled your downfall twisted, curled, and vanished into smoke. And where darkness tried to leave emptiness, a hand greater than mine appeared, the hand of the Eternal One, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. And with a stroke of blazing light, he rewrote your name, not in ink, but in fire. Do you know what it means when fire writes your name? It means no shadow can erase it, no curse can stain it, no enemy can cross it out. For what is written in fire cannot be undone. And beside your name a new word has been written, not death, not failure, not loss, but life. Not the fragile life that can be stolen, but the eternal life that cannot be extinguished. A life of purpose, a life of rising, a life of power that shadows can no longer touch. But the rewriting does not end there. The page of destiny begins to glow, and I see lines unfolding, visions of what is to come. What was stolen from you will be restored. What was delayed will be accelerated. What was bound will be released. For when the curse breaks, the balance shifts, and the weight that held you down becomes the wind that carries you higher. You will see it in your days ahead. Doors that refuse to open will now swing wide. Opportunities that slipped away will reappear in greater form. Voices that doubted you will be silenced, and the very ones who cursed you will be forced to watch as you rise. For when heaven rewrites, even the shadows must bear witness. And I, Micheal, tell you this, your name now shines. I see it in the book of light, burning brighter than stars. Each letter glows like a flame, and as I look, I hear the sound of trumpets announcing, "This one is restored." All of heaven knows, all of heaven celebrates. The rewriting of your destiny is not a quiet affair. It is a proclamation that echoes across realms. But child, take heed. Though the rewriting is complete, the betrayer will not rejoice. They will gnash their teeth. They will tremble, for their power has collapsed. And yet some will still linger, hoping to plant new seeds of doubt, hoping to chain you again. Do not allow it, for once fire has touched your name, it is marked forever. Stand firm and let no shadow convince you otherwise. The rewriting of destiny is not only about restoring what was lost, it is about multiplying what lies ahead. The future before you is not the same as it was before the curse. It is greater, because the breaking of chains has forged strength in you, endurance in you, wisdom in you. You will no longer walk blindly into traps. You will no longer ignore the signs. You will no longer silence the voice within that warns you. You are awake now, and one who is awake cannot be deceived the same way again. Yes, the rewriting has changed you. You are no longer the one who was hunted by shadows. You are the one the shadows now fear. Your very presence becomes fire to them. Your very words burn their schemes. Your very steps echo with the sound of destiny fulfilled. So rise, child of light. Lift your head, for your name is no longer chained in darkness. It is crowned in fire. The rewriting is done. The verdict is reversed. The death once written has been erased forever. And in the next unveiling, I will show you what comes after restoration, the divine signs that will follow you, proving to every enemy, every shadow, and even to yourself that your destiny has been sealed in victory.
Listen carefully now, for what I reveal will become the compass of your days ahead. You have been restored. The curse is broken. But how will you know it is real? How will you know you are no longer marked for death, but crowned with life? You will know it by the signs that follow you, wonders written not by men, but by the hand of heaven itself. The first sign is the shifting of the air around you. You will feel it. Once, when shadows drew near, you felt heaviness in your chest, sleepless nights, unseen fear. But now the atmosphere bends differently. The air grows lighter, as though a burden has been removed. Even in silence, you will sense the presence of light encircling you. You will wake and no longer feel stalked by unseen eyes. Instead, you will sense watchmen standing guard, wings stretched wide. That is the first sign. The oppression will turn into protection. The second sign, dreams will change. Where nightmares once visited you, visions of light will break through. You will see flashes of roads opening, doors unbolting, rivers parting. You will see symbols, keys, crowns, and fire. And though the enemy may still try to whisper, the visions of heaven will drown him out. This is no accident. It is the rewriting manifesting in your sleep. For when the night itself begins to testify of your freedom, know that the curse has lost all ground. The third sign, people will treat you differently. Do not dismiss this. Even those who once mocked you, ignored you, or doubted you will begin to notice a change. They may not understand it, but they will feel it. Some will be drawn to you with unusual favor. Doors of opportunity will open from directions you never expected. Others will recoil, unable to bear the light now upon you. Do not be surprised if some leave your side. They are not rejecting you. They are fleeing the fire that now surrounds you. For the rewriting exposes hearts. It reveals who belongs and who does not. The fourth sign, your own words will carry weight. Once you spoke and were dismissed, ignored, unseen. But now when you speak, your voice will cut through atmospheres. It will command attention, stir conviction, bring clarity. For heaven has placed fire upon your tongue, and even in your quiet words, shadows will tremble. This sign proves that your destiny is not just restored, it has been elevated. The fifth sign, synchronicities and divine timings. Things that seemed delayed for years will suddenly align. Calls, messages, opportunities will arrive at the exact moment you need them. It will feel as though an invisible hand is orchestrating every detail. And truly, it is. This is the sign that the Eternal One is not only restoring your path, but accelerating it. What was slowed has now been quickened. You will not miss what is yours, for destiny itself is chasing you now. And finally, the sixth sign, the shadow will try one last time. Do not fear this. When the betrayer sees the glory rising around you, they will attempt one final strike through lies, fear, or whispers. But it will fail. It must fail. For what is written in fire cannot be undone. And when you resist this last attempt, the enemy will scatter for good. And you will stand, not as one who merely survived, but as one who overcame. These are the signs, child of light. Atmosphere shifting, dreams glowing, people revealing their hearts, words gaining power, time aligning in your favor, and shadows scattering in defeat. When you see these unfold, remember what I told you. This is no accident, no coincidence. It is the mark of a destiny rewritten, the seal of heaven upon your life. And the world will know it. Even those who do not understand the spiritual realm will sense it. Something about you has changed. They will feel the fire, though they cannot name it. They will sense the crown, though they cannot see it. For you are no longer the hunted, you are the chosen. You are no longer marked for death, you are written for life. And I, Michael, stand as witness. But in the next unveiling, I will take you deeper. I will show you the revelation of the betrayer, the one who wrote your name in death, their identity, their schemes, and the fate that awaits them now that your destiny has turned.
Now, child of light, listen with trembling, for what I unveil is no longer about unseen spirits alone, but about the human vessel that the darkness used to write death in your name. You have asked, who was it? Who wanted me gone? Who spoke curses while I slept? Who smiled in my face, yet carved my name into a book of death? Tonight you will begin to see. Understand this first. Betrayal is never random. It is always born from closeness. A stranger cannot pierce the heart. Only one who drew near, one who pretended to walk beside you, can plant such a dagger. And so it was with you. This betrayer did not come from the outside world. They emerged from within your circle. They wore a mask of friendship, of kinship, of loyalty. But beneath that mask, jealousy burned like an unquenchable fire. At first, they whispered against you in small ways, little lies, tiny daggers of doubt. But when they saw that those whispers did not destroy you, they sought darker powers. They found themselves drawn into places of shadow, rooms where candles burned black, where names were written in ash and blood, where ancient chants were spoken to bind destinies. And there, in those unholy gatherings, they spoke your name. Yes, your very name, the name written by heaven, they dragged into the pits. They wrote your end upon their altars. They thought they had sealed your fate,
But they did not count on me standing here now, breaking the seal, burning the script, tearing the page from the book of death. Do you feel the chill on your skin as I speak? That is because the betrayer's mask is crumbling. Their hidden face is turning toward the light. They have been among you, yes, even laughing, even sharing bread. But their heart recoiled at your light. They feared your rising, and so they sought to end it before it began. But hear me clearly. The betrayer has now been marked by exposure. The very forces they summoned to trap you are now circling them. What they intended for your grave will become their mirror. What they spoke against you will echo against their own soul. The curse they crafted is now collapsing inward, pulling them into the pit they dug for you. Do not fear, child, for in the next revelation I will guide you into the full unveiling, the clues, the patterns, the unmistakable signs that will let you know exactly who this betrayer is. You will not be left in confusion. The mask will fall, the face will be revealed, and the justice of heaven will be swift. Remember this. It was written as death in your name, but now it is rewritten as life eternal. The betrayer cannot outrun what is coming. Their schemes are ending. Their days of hiding are numbered. And I, Micheal, will stand beside you as the revelation strikes. Prepare your spirit. The storm of truth is approaching.
Now, the hour has come to unveil the signs. The betrayer has walked in shadows long enough. They believed they could curse you, bury you, and yet remain invisible. But no shadow can remain hidden before the light of heaven's fire. And tonight, I will reveal the marks they left behind, the fingerprints of betrayal that you have seen yet did not understand. Listen closely, for these signs will echo in your memory. You will feel a chill because you have already witnessed them. The first sign, a shifting gaze. When you shared your dreams, your plans, your victories, they never truly rejoiced. Their smile was thin, their eyes restless, darting, almost afraid of your light. In their presence you felt both closeness and unease, a strange tension, like a whisper in your spirit warning, something is wrong here. The second sign, strange silence in your darkest hours, when you needed them most, when your world shook, when the shadows closed in, they were absent. Not because they could not be there, but because they chose not to. Their silence was louder than words. It was betrayal wrapped in quietness. The third sign, their tongue turned against you in secret. You heard whispers, rumors, distortions of your truth. And though you could not trace their source, know this, it was the betrayer's tongue releasing venom in hidden places, planting seeds of doubt about you. The very air around them carried your name, but spoken not with love, spoken with malice. The fourth sign, they were too curious about your wounds. When you suffered, they leaned close, not to heal, but to measure the depth of your pain. They asked questions not to comfort, but to collect pieces of your brokenness. Like a thief studying a lock before breaking it, they studied your spirit before striking. And the fifth sign, strange occurrences around you after they departed. After their visit, their call, their presence, confusion would linger, heaviness would rest on your chest, sleepless nights would follow. That was no coincidence.
They were carrying shadows in their words, shadows in their breath, shadows that clung to you after they left. Now, child of light, think. Who around you has left such signs? Who smiled at your face, but their spirit recoiled at your rising? Who was absent when you needed them most? Who carried your name on their lips in secret places? The answer is already burning in your heart. Even as I speak, you feel their face pushing against your memory. But do not fear, because exposure is not the end. Judgment follows exposure, and heaven's judgment is now moving toward them like thunder rolling over distant hills. They thought they could inscribe death in your name, but now the pen is turned against their own destiny. Child, listen carefully. The betrayer will not remain hidden much longer. In the next revelation, I will speak the unfolding of their downfall, how their lies collapse, how their schemes crumble, how the very forces they summoned devour them instead. Prepare yourself, for truth is sharpening its blade.
Now hear me, child of heaven. For the betrayer thought they stood in power, but their throne is made of sand, and the tide of justice is already rising against them. You have seen the signs of their betrayal. Now I will reveal the unfolding of their fall. Their downfall will not come in silence. It will thunder. It will echo. And all who once believed their mask will begin to question, to whisper, to see the truth. The first crack in their armor will come through their own words. Their tongue, once sharp in secret, will betray them openly. They will speak too much, reveal too much, stumble over their lies. Those around them will begin to wonder, why does this one always circle the name they hate? Why do they always carry shadows in their stories? Their own speech will become a snare to them. The second crack will appear in their alliances. Those who once walked with them in darkness will begin to distance themselves. They will sense the curse rebounding. The very spirits they invited to harm you will turn their gaze toward them, demanding payment. Friends will grow cold, allies will vanish, and they will find themselves isolated in the very pit they dug. The third crack will strike their peace of mind. You will notice it. Their eyes restless, their nights sleepless, their laughter hollow. For every time they close their eyes, they will see the name they tried to bury, your name, shining brighter than ever. The weight of their curse will become their torment, chasing them in dreams, haunting them in silence. The fourth crack will reveal itself in their plans collapsing. What once seemed secure will begin to fail. Doors they forced open will slam shut. Schemes they plotted will backfire. What they built on deceit will crumble before their own eyes. And those who once trusted them will begin to whisper, "Something is not right here. This one's words and deeds bring only ruin." And finally, the fifth crack, the one that seals their fall, will be public exposure. What they whispered in darkness will be shouted from rooftops. The very secrets they guarded will slip into the light. Masks will be torn, veils ripped, and the betrayer will stand naked in truth. Those who once thought them innocent will gasp. Those who once joined their laughter will recoil. And they will know, yes, all will know, that this was the one who tried to inscribe death in your name. But child, do not be afraid when you witness these things. Their collapse is not your burden. You are not to strike them down, for justice is already moving.
Heaven itself is dismantling their fortress brick by brick, tearing apart the altars they built, silencing the whispers of their curse. And as their downfall unfolds, your rise will begin. Your name, once dragged through shadow, will be lifted higher. Your path, once hindered, will open wider. For this is not just the betrayer's exposure, it is your vindication. Hear me well. The betrayer is entering their midnight, but you are stepping into dawn. Their mask is falling, their world collapsing, their lies unraveling. The one who tried to bury you is about to be buried by their own schemes. And in the next revelation, I will show you the moment of heaven's reversal, how the very death written in your name transforms into a crown of life, how their curse becomes your blessing, how their downfall becomes your rising.
Listen, beloved one of heaven, for the enemy wrote death in your name, but the ink of their curse cannot survive the fire of the Almighty. They took parchment in the dark and carved your destruction. But before the courts of heaven, that parchment has been seized, yes, torn from their trembling hands, thrown upon the flames of divine fire, and consumed until not a trace remains. What they sealed in shadows is already broken. What they declared against you is already reversed. For I, Micheal, tell you this truth. Heaven does not permit the handwriting of death upon one chosen for life. Now watch closely how the reversal unfolds. The death written in your name becomes the birth of destiny. The sickness they wished for you becomes the strength of your body. The poverty they desired for you becomes the overflow of your table. The shame they whispered against you becomes the honor of your crown, and the chains they fashioned in secret become the keys of your freedom. Child of light, do you not see? Every arrow fired at you has turned in midair. Every curse has reversed its flight. The very dagger sharpened for your heart now seeks the hand that forged it. For the curse has no home in your soul. It returns always to its maker. This is the mystery of reversal. The betrayer becomes the victim of their own design. The hunter is caught in their own trap. The architect of your ruin becomes the builder of their own downfall. And you, yes, you emerge untouched, shielded by the wings of heaven. Mark this moment in your spirit. Where they thought your story would end in a grave, heaven now writes a new beginning in golden ink. A chapter of laughter where they planned tears. A chapter of rising where they demanded falling. A chapter of triumph where they whispered failure. The death written in your name has been rewritten into a crown of life, and no hand, mortal or demonic, can erase what heaven has sealed. But I must tell you this warning. The reversal is not silent. When heaven blesses you, the enemy will rage. When your star rises, shadows will tremble. And so I urge you, do not fear their final struggles, for when the dark realizes it is losing, it thrashes the loudest. But remember this, their loudest storm will end in silence, and your quiet faith will roar louder than their curses ever did. Child, lift your head. Your name is no longer written in ashes, it is written in light. The gates that were closed are opening. The paths that were blocked are clearing. The tears you shed are watering the ground where your harvest will grow. This is the great reversal. This is heaven's answer to their scheme. This is the decree that cannot be overturned. Life has been written where death was intended. Glory has been inscribed where shame was plotted, and destiny has been sealed where destruction was announced.
Listen with the ears of your spirit, child of heaven. For what I now reveal will be like a lamp in the dark, so that when these things appear before you, you will know without question that the hand of God is at work. The death written in your name is broken, but heaven will not let you walk blind. The Most High sends signs as confirmations, so you may stand firm when doubt comes near. Hear me well. There are 7 signs of reversal, and as they unfold, you will know the shift has begun. Sign 1. The disturbance of the enemy. The first sign is the agitation of those who plotted against you. They will sense, without understanding, that their grip is slipping. Their words will turn sharp, their presence restless. They will try harder to bind you, but everything they attempt will fall to the ground. Their own panic is the evidence of your freedom. Sign 2. The unexplained protection. There will be moments when danger brushes close to your skin, but cannot pierce you. An accident avoided by a heartbeat. A sickness that should have stayed but flees suddenly. A financial collapse that should have swallowed you, yet somehow you remain standing. This is heaven's shield, the unseen hand that pushes back destruction. Sign 3. The sudden unveiling. Hidden truths will come to light. Lies whispered in shadows will stumble into daylight. What they tried to conceal will betray itself, and in that moment you will realize God has opened the veil to protect your path. Revelation itself becomes your defender. Sign 4. The shift of atmosphere. Have you felt it already? The sudden heaviness when curses are near. Now watch as the air changes. Where there was gloom, there will be lightness. Where there was restlessness, there will be peace. Where there was despair, there will be hope. Your very surroundings will testify that something has shifted. Sign 5. The strange elevation. Opportunities will come where none should exist. Doors will open that others swore were locked. Your name will be spoken in rooms you never entered. And promotions, breakthroughs, favor, these will flow like rivers breaking dams. This is heaven lifting you up in the very place they planned your fall. Sign 6. The dreams of warning and promise. In the quiet of your night, heaven will speak. Some dreams will warn you of snares. Others will show you glimpses of your future glory. Do not ignore them, for these are not empty visions. They are messages carved into the Spirit, guiding you like a compass through the shadows. Sign 7. The rising of your inner fire. And finally, the most unmistakable sign, the sudden boldness that fills your soul. Where once you feared, now you stand fearless. Where once you doubted, now you believe. Where once you wept, now you roar like a lion. This is not of you alone. It is the Spirit of the living God rising within you, marking you as untouchable. So remember these signs, beloved: the panic of your enemies, the shield of divine protection, the unveiling of hidden lies, the shift in atmosphere, the unexpected elevation, the dreams of warning and promise, and the fire of courage in your heart. Each one is a trumpet in the unseen, declaring that the death written in your name has been reversed, rewritten, and broken forever. But know this, the signs are only the beginning, for the Most High not only confirms, He fulfills. And in the next revelation, I will show you how heaven not only protects, but also compensates. Yes, how every tear you cried, every night you endured, every loss you carried, will be repaid in a measure pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing. For the reversal is not complete until the scales of justice are balanced, and heaven's justice never fails.
Child of the living God, do you not know? The Most High is not only a shield, He is also a judge. And the judge of heaven does not merely cancel death, He commands justice. For every snare laid against you, for every sleepless night you wept, for every shadow that threatened your light, the scales of eternity demand repayment. The principle of divine justice. Understand this. In the courts of men, justice is delayed, twisted, or denied. But in the courts of heaven, nothing is hidden, nothing is forgotten, and no crime goes unanswered. Those who cursed you sowed a seed. Those who betrayed you planted thorns. Those who mocked you watered poison. But every seed sown in darkness must return to the sower multiplied. The arrows they shot at you have circled in the winds of heaven, and now they return, swift, sharp, undeniable. The pit they dug for you is now their own grave. This is not vengeance of man, but the justice of the eternal. Justice for your tears. Every tear that fell from your eyes was counted like pearls in heaven's jar. You thought they vanished into the night, but no, beloved, they were gathered. And now for each drop shed in anguish, a harvest of joy is commanded. Your mourning will not just end, it will be replaced with laughter that cannot be stolen. Justice for your lost time. Yes, time was stolen from you. Seasons wasted in fear, years stolen by betrayal. But hear this decree. The God of eternity restores time. He gives back what the locusts devoured. Opportunities will arise swiftly, doors will open suddenly, and what you thought was gone forever will return in multiplied form. The lost time will be compressed into accelerated favor. Justice for your shame. They humiliated you. They whispered lies and painted your name in shadows. But watch now. The same mouths that slandered you will see you elevated above them. The stone they rejected will become the cornerstone. Your story will be retold not as tragedy, but as testimony. And your shame will turn to honor that resounds like thunder. Justice for your losses. What was stolen? Friendships, finances, health, peace. Heaven demands repayment. Do you hear it? The decree of the Almighty. I will repay. I will restore. I will return. And when God restores, it is never in the measure taken. It is in the measure of overflow. For He does not return you what was lost. He multiplies it until your cup cannot contain. Justice against your enemies. Do not mistake me, child. The Most High is merciful to the repentant. But for those who persist in darkness, who revel in their curses and rejoice in your pain, judgment is not delayed. The justice of God falls upon them suddenly, like lightning out of a clear sky. And you will see it with your own eyes. The very ones who plotted your end will stumble into their own downfall. This is not your battle to fight. This is heaven's decree. But, above all, remember this. Justice is not merely punishment for the wicked. It is reward for the faithful.
and your faithfulness in the fire has sealed your blessing in the throne room. The host of heaven has witnessed your endurance. The judge has signed the order, and the scales now tip in your favor. So rejoice, beloved. Not only has the death written in your name been canceled, not only have the chains been broken, but now the courts of heaven declare, repay them, restore them, elevate them. And this justice will not delay. It has already begun. But listen carefully. Justice is not the end. For even justice is only a shadow of the greater glory yet to come. For next, I will reveal to you the crown of the overcomer, the inheritance promised to those who endured the fire and came out unburned. Yes, child of heaven, not only will you be restored, you will be enthroned.
Beloved child of the Eternal, now you have heard the mystery. You have walked through the valley of death's decree. You have stood in the fire of revelation. You have seen chains broken, justice declared. But know this, your story does not end in survival. It ends in enthronement. The crown of the overcomer. In the halls of heaven there are crowns reserved. Crowns not for the strong, but for those who endured. Crowns not for the proud, but for the faithful. And one of these crowns bears your name. It is not gold that fades, not jewels that dim. It is a crown forged in trial, polished by tears, and sealed in the fire of endurance. And as I speak, I see angels descending with it, for the hour of your crowning has come, the final transfer of authority. Hear me well. Once your name was marked for death. Now your name is written on a scroll of authority. The decree has changed in the courts of eternity. No longer a death written in your name, but now a life written in abundance. From this day, your words will carry weight. Your prayers will strike like arrows. Your presence will command respect, not because of who you are, but because of the crown you wear. The shadows that once pursued you will bow when they see the seal upon your head. The banquet of the victor. Even now, the table of restoration is being set before you. Your enemies, if they live, will watch in silence. Those who laughed will gnash their teeth. For the shepherd prepares a feast, and you will eat in peace where you once starved in sorrow. Your cup will overflow until rivers spring from it, and your life will shine like a city set on a hill. The eternal promise. But, child, hear this. This crown is not only for this life. The days of your flesh are but a shadow. What waits beyond the veil is greater, for you will stand in the great assembly before the throne of the Ancient of Days, and the crown placed on you now will gleam there still. You will hear the words that echo beyond galaxies. Well done, faithful one. Enter into joy everlasting. This is your inheritance. This is your destiny. This is the truth they feared you would never know. By the authority of the Lord of hosts, by the sword that burns with unquenchable fire, by the seal of the Ancient of Days, I, Micheal, Prince of Heaven's armies, declare over you now. The death written in your name is erased forever. The life written in your name is sealed in eternity. The chains of yesterday are shattered, never to return. Justice has been executed, restoration commanded, and the crown of the overcomer rests upon your head. Walk therefore as one enthroned. Fear no shadow, doubt no promise. Question no longer if you are chosen, for the decree is final. The record is sealed, the heavens bear witness, and I, Michael, speak no idle word. So rise now, crowned one. Rise into your destiny. Rise into your inheritance. Rise into the abundance of the life that was always yours. And remember forever, death was written in your name, but heaven rewrote the story. And the final word is not death. The final word is victory. Thus it is spoken. Thus it is sealed. Thus it is done.